Okay, good morning, all of you. So we'll continue with the diffraction from yesterday's class. So yesterday what happened, we defined that if a monochromatic ray of light is incident on a slit, there's a slit, I think you must know. So there's a slit, so rectangular slit it is. So when it enters, it will encounter, so here diffraction will take place and will get a pattern. There's no doubt there. I think if you tried yesterday, so the pattern will not be exactly like this. I gave in the end one pink color diagram. That will be the pattern is what you see. So what will be that the ray, what happen? According to ray optics should go straight and we should get only this central maxima. Why do we are getting this secondary maxima minima? Due to diffraction. That's all here. Yesterday we have made everything rule. Now what is the thing? At what distance the first minima will be? At what distance first maxima? Then what is the width of central maxima? What is the width of secondary maxima? This will become secondary maxima. This distance, width of secondary maxima. Then width of central maxima. Then if I vary the distance, so what is the distance? This will be, if I vary this distance, how things will change, what will happen to it? If I vary width of slit, what will happen to pattern? So what are questions like? As you vary width of slit, as you vary distance between slit and the screen, what conditions will arise? And as you vary wavelength, what conditions will arise? So what is our question? So we are going to ask ourselves a question. Let us ask few questions to ourselves. What will happen to pattern if D varies? Small d width of slit varies. Lambda varies. Okay, let's understand. So for that, what happens? We need an expression, no? How the width of slit, how the width of central maxima, width of secondary maxima, how they are related to these quantities. Then we can express it. So for that, I'll go for explanation. So what all we discuss is Fraunhofer. So monochromatic ray of light. I'm just drew the diagrams here. If you look at the NCERT book, he has just one diagram he took and he explained everything there only. So you find it a bit very difficult. We have to, for different situations, we have to draw a diagram. Now for central maxima, I'll give explanation. The explanation will be like this. So according to the here, the wave nature of light is what reflected. This one. So every point on a slit, every point on a slit. I think all of you by this time, what is a slit? This is a slit. I'll write only in one diagram. In every diagram, I cannot write it because a lot of space is needed. No. Every point on a slit will behave like a source of light. So now let the ray of light, this one point. So from where this is Huygens wave theory, every point on a slit will behave like a okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I think I'll continue. Yeah, fine. Some power fluctuation came. Okay, it will be like this. So everything. So it'll be there. So all points on a slit will contribute light. That's why the intensity of central maxima, why it is maximum, because all points on a slit, what happen, will contribute light at central maxima. So what is the comment? These comments are very important. All points on a slit will contribute light at central maximum. That's why the intensity of central maxima is maximum. Okay, background, this should be there. Why intensity of central maxima is maximum? Because all points on a slit will contribute light and will undergo superposition, constructive interference will occur, or better, all points on slit will contribute light at central maxima, or all waves arriving at central maxima undergo constructive interference. That's why the intensity of central maxima is maximum. That is why okay, there's the only reason what we have. So what is the thing? So how do constructive interference? So the path difference between the rays 0 to L, the path difference between rays 0 to L next to 10, 4, 8 is 0 at central maxima, and they undergo same expression I'm putting once again, undergo constructive interference. So we are comparing the rays. Here I'm saying the path difference between rays. It is 0. Yeah. Okay, after this. Okay, there's a why central maximum is maximum. So I give this enough explanation. Okay, let's go for it. Now the same slit, I'm going to break up this into two parts. D by 2, D by 2. So this I'll call part 1, part 2. I'll break up the slit into two parts. Okay, now, so this is what the D1, why the minima? Why the minima? This what this, I'll give the reason like this. Okay, this is a lens. So I'm going to break up the slit into two parts. Then, why it is, this angle. So let me define this is theta. Sin theta 1, I'll write it. Huh? So what is this path difference? Between 0 and 12, let it be lambda. So therefore between 6 and 0 will be lambda by 2. Okay, no, look at this one. If the path difference between 0 and 12 is lambda, then what will be the path difference between 0 and 6 will be lambda by 2. So what happened to the rays? The path difference no, Abhishek Nala, please don't ask any question. You just listen happily to my explanation. Very happily that one. In the end, you can ask to all of you, just keep on observation. Any typing mistake, okay, but don't ask any conceptual question. I'll finish off all, then it'll be very easy for you. Because first of all, questions are why you are assuming like this to explain the pattern. Okay, the path difference of the rays 0, 6, 210, sorry, 28, 410. We can choose many rays here. I'm just giving some explanation. At D1 is lambda by 2. Is lambda by 2 at D1, we'll write it. Is lambda by 2 at D1. Therefore, they undergo destructive interference. If they undergo destructive interference, what happens? The light will cancel out. Hence, if darkness is formed at the first minima. They undergo destructive interference. Hence no light at D1. Okay, I agree this. So this one, okay, let's see that one. What is d sine theta? I think already we know from the this one, from the interference topic. So what is d sine theta? We can write it as d sine theta 1 is equal to lambda. D sine theta 1 is equal to lambda. So then at what distance this this was the central maxima, no? I need reference one, yellow color. We'll write it. So shall we write this is y and this was the capital D. D1 don't get confused. There's a distance between the slit and screen. Any relationship can we write here? No. So this we can also draw one small triangle. Can you remember from directly from where I'm bringing all these ideas? From interference. For those who are finding very difficult, they're asking so many questions. I'm drawing this diagram. There's a small diagram. I'm helping it in this one. This is a capital D. Okay, tell me, can you write anything y1? So what is tan theta 1? Y1 by capital D. And this particular sine theta, I can also write tan theta. So from that, what we can write it as d by lambda, d lambda, d small d by lambda. Okay, at what distance the first minima will be located? Second day first minima. So it will be at a distance of capital D small d by lambda. And what is its angular position? Angular position. So we can write approximately this is angular position is given by lambda d. So what is theta 1? Theta 1 is called as angular position of. And what is y1? Y1 is the linear position from the axis. Everything are reflected in the diagram. Already we know interference. Finish over that one. Okay, let's go for. I'll split up this screen into now 3 parts. Now 2 parts I made. No, so slit is.
Sir, y1 lambda d by d, sir. Lambda into capital D by small d.
Okay, that's one. Okay, that's some calculation mistake. Yeah. Y1 will be lambda capital D by small d. Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you. Okay, this will be the linear position of that first minima. So slit is split up into 2 parts. I'll go for this one. So I'm going to split this slit into 3 parts. So this will become d by 3 if I split up. So the total distance is, I'll write only like this. Total distance of the slit is d only. Again, don't get deviated. So I'll get no next bright fringe. This will be, and there's the lens. No, what we have, the screen which I split it up now, so I'll put red color mark. That'll be enough. Okay, this one. Yeah. Now the path difference, let it be 3 lambda by 2. So let me take this is now alpha 1. There I took sine theta. No, let me take some other value. Alpha 1. So this will be how much? 3 lambda by 2 I took. So this will be lambda. This will be lambda by 2. Okay, we'll draw that corresponding triangle. One center maxima. YB1 you call it. There's a capital D. So that is not intensity. It is a slit itself. I made into T parts. D by 3, D by 3, D by 3. If I write so many things will get congested. Huh? Okay, fine. This is what that alpha 1. This will be alpha 1. Okay, let's come for different. What about the rays? The rays are having, so what is the path difference between 0, 4 at B1? The rays 0, 4. Then you can write 1, 5, 2, 6, 3, 7, and 4, 8. 4, 8 will have path difference of lambda by 2 at B1. So they undergo destructive interference. Fine. So therefore, so they undergo destructive interference at B1. So there, shall we put in simplest way, the light coming from the at B1, what happened? One of slit will contribute light, whereas at central maxima, all the points of slit will contribute light. That's why the intensity of B1 will be less compared to the intensity of central maxima. There's a reason is what I'm able to give that one. So how you can justify? You can see from the diagram which I'm giving explanation. The rays coming from the part one, oh here, the rays coming from the part one and part two, they'll undergo distinct difference at B1. And only these particular rays coming from the part 3 of the slit, what happened, will contribute the light at point particular B1. So that's why the intensity at B1 will be less compared to the intensity of at central maxima. And what are the distance like, we'll calculate what is that alpha 1. So how you define alpha 1? So d sine alpha 1 should be equal to 3 lambda by 2. Then what is the angular position? 3 lambda by 2d. This is the angular position of first minimum, first maxima. Then from this tan alpha 1 should be equal to y b1 by capital D. So alpha 1 so what is y b1 should be equal to 3 lambda capital D by 2d. So what is this? This is the angular position of first maxima. These are very important. Okay, fine. So now we can proceed very easily. So after this, what I do, I will break up this slit into 4 parts. I think that this numbers arrays, it will be a little bit difficult to divide that 12 into 4. I think it'll become 0, 3 like that. We'll break up this slit into now 4 parts. Okay, no, so like this, I'll break up this into 4 parts here. Now again, the width of slit, I'm not going to change. Please keep this in mind. So now this will be 0, 0, 3, 6. Okay, somewhere you write it 9, and this is 12. So now what is this? This is a D2. Why light will cancel out again? Why the light will cancel out? Now what is the expression will put it? Why there is a complete no light? Why intensity is 0 at D2? Because the light coming from the slit 192 will undergo distinct interference. Similarly, the light coming from the part 3 and 4 will undergo distinct interference. So because of this, what happened? We don't get any light, and that's why the second minima will be formed. So why second minima? This explanation is what I had to give. So the okay, this is next. We'll go for this. I just made some little bit big diagram so that it'll be easy for us to show all the things. Yeah. This is a D2 central maxima, width of the slit. This is a capital D. So here, what should be the thing? Let it be 2 lambda. Then this will become 3 lambda by 2. This is lambda. This will be lambda by 2. I think you have clearly in the diagram. What is the path difference of the rays from the part 1 and part 2 of the slit at D2? Will be lambda by 2. And they'll undergo distance and will cancel out. So this, I think we took symbol theta 1. So here I'll call this as theta 2. This will be theta 2. So what is the expression we have to give? The path difference of rays coming from part 1 and 2 is lambda by 2 at D2. And they undergo destructive interference. So same thing, same explanation is what I'll give it for 3 and 4. And they undergo destructive interference. So therefore, what is the total intensity at D2 will be 0. Therefore, total intensity at D2 is 0. So therefore, second minima is formed here. Okay, let's get into the mathematics. This was the 2 lambda what we assume. Okay, first, so what is the expression? We can write it as like a sine 2 theta should be equal to 2 lambda, or d sine theta 2 equal to 2 lambda, or angular separation should be, angular position should be d lambda by 2 lambda by small d. Then tan theta 2 should be equal to y2 y d2 by capital D. For small angle, fine. There's a linear portion, there's an angular separation. Okay, let's go back. I think once, let me go back here. I think there's the first thing. No? So what was the angular separation? We brought it. Y d1 it is. What was the angular separation? Lambda by d. Now what we have? 2 lambda by small d. 2 lambda by small d. So this for D2. So next, one more last, we'll go for B2, that one. I think then our discussion will end up. I'll break up the slit into 5 parts. In the end, you can ask all the best questions what all you have. Let me finish off this basic explanation so that it'll be easy for you. So I'll break up now slit into. So 3 lambda, this should be 5 lambda by 2. This is central maxima. This is B2. Five parts. No? It should not be here. 512 by, okay, let it be. Something 3. How many got over? This is second part. Third part. Not up to the scale. 5 parts I put it. So now, so what is this 5 lambda by 2? So till here it will be, I think I'll mess up in this diagram. So therefore I'll put it one simplified one. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, this will be 5 lambda by 2, 2 lambda, 3 lambda by 2, lambda, lambda by 2. This is the first part, second part, third part, fourth part, fifth part. Okay, agreed all of you. So this is the width of slit. So this you write 0. This is 12. Let's, instead of messing everything in one diagram, 0 and this is 12. Okay, fine. Now, what is the path difference of the rays arriving at B2 due to part 1 and part 2? Will be lambda by 2. Due to the part 3 and part 4 will be lambda by 2. So only 1/5 of the slit will contribute light at B2 here. So the path difference arriving, the path difference of rays from part 1 and part 2 is lambda by 2 at B2. So they undergo destructive interference at B2. Similarly, same reason is what I'll give for the other one. Similarly, path difference of rays of part 3 and 4 is lambda, so they undergo destructive interference. So therefore, now who will contribute? Only the part 5 will contribute the light at B2. Therefore, so what is this? So shall we say only 1/5 of the slit will contribute light at B2? So if you want, you can write that comment here. Only 1/5 of slit will contribute light at B2. They may ask you this as a conceptual question in exam. So definitely what is the intensity at B2 should be less than that at B1, should be less than compared to that of central maxima. So these ideas are the light from all parts will mutually cancel. So we'll select 1/3 of will contribute light at B1. All points of slit contribute light at central magma. There's a core idea. All of you, I think now you got some picture like why the pattern and the expression what I'm giving and the pattern, how it is. There's no element of doubt of pattern. That's right, sir. Why pattern like this is what I'm explanation. Now, you can't question like, sir, is it pattern like that only? It will be there, that one. So, sir, I'll not agree. You didn't do lab. Actually, I told you like you should take laser, that particular thing. So that's all. So I'm helpless in that particular aspect here. So the pattern is what we do visualize. So there's no question on the pattern. I'm explaining pattern, and my expression what happened is what all I'm putting everything, all the mathematics, everything, it is obeying the pattern. So therefore I'm correct and your teacher is correct. So you should not have any doubt on teacher, have faith on teacher. That's what the books is telling like that here. But if you look at the NCERT book, there's no diagrams. Just yes, explained everything. How it happened? NCERT book is not something handwritten, you know it. It just copy paste from different sources of internet. Finish over. That's why that when you read that book, no, you'll not understand. The reason is they have dumped ideas. That's all, and there's no explanation. So don't take risk of learning concept through NCERT book. Continuity will not be there. Paragraph to paragraph. That also happens. Okay, now let's come for expression for this thing. It's my experience. I don't know like what is your experience, but my experience is like I struggled a lot. So I'm just sharing my experience. So if you are comfortable, okay, you can carry on. Okay, there's a width of slit. This is, I think, we took alpha 2, 5 lambda by 2, alpha 2, yb2, and this is capital D. What is the angular position? So what is the expression? D sine alpha should be equal to 5 lambda. So the angular position will be 5 lambda by 2D. Then tan alpha 2 equal to yb2 by capital D. Alpha 2, if you write it, if it's very small. Okay, now we have enough expansion. Like this, you can go for, now you can break up this slit into 6 parts, 7 parts. Like this, you generalize this one. Like this, you can keep on generalize this. So now let's go for writing generalized equation. So what we want now an equation for angular position of central maxima, angular position of secondary maximas and secondary minimas here. So I think I gave symbols alpha separately. So from where the alpha will start with theta, or what is symbol? Theta, no? First D1 is theta. So what are the angular positions of first minima, second minima, third minima? So shall we write lambda by D? Next second minima, 2 lambda by D. So like the 3 lambda by D, that one. What about the maximas? Maxima will start from 3 lambda by 2D. It will not start from lambda by 2D. Lambda by 2D, it will not, 3 lambda by 2D. So we'll generalize here. So therefore the angular positions of, I'll continue in this one. Yeah, I think diagrams got over. Okay, I think, yeah, we need one. Yeah. I will take it all this 0, 6, 4, everything. Yeah. Now we'll go for the angular positions of several things. So there's a central maxima. First, what happened? We'll get D1, next B1, D2, B2. Symmetry will be there. I'm okay. Yeah. What are the angular positions of? I'll remove that lens also. Okay, I'll continue again. So lens removed. Anything will happen? Nothing will happen. It'll become fresnel. So again, some lot of calculations will be involved here. Shall we generalize? So I'll write the equation. No, theta is equal to theta 1 is equal to lambda by D. No, for minimas. Next, 2 lambda by D. 3 lambda by D. This is for minimas, secondary minimas, and so on. theta n should be equal to n lambda by d. What is this? The heading, no, it is. We'll write it here. Angular position of minimas. Now let's go for the angular position of maximas. What is alpha 1? I think it will start from 3 lambda by 2d, no? Anybody generalize it? So n will start from 3, no? So therefore this will be 2n plus 1 lambda by 2d. Am I right? Put n equal to 1, 3 lambda by 2d. Put n equal to 2, 5 lambda by 2d. Put n equal to 3. So is it just satisfying this equation? Similarly, I want the linear portion. This is angular portion. This is a linear position. Linear portion or height from center of mass. Linear portion from axis. Y1 should be equal to lambda capital D by D. Y2 is equal to 2 lambda capital D by D. Y3 equal to 3 lambda capital D by D. So this is the minima snow. So I'll write it Y dark. So this should be equal to n lambda capital D by D. Similarly, the linear position of maxima, no, linear position from the axis. So this should be equal to how much? Y1 3 lambda capital D by 2D. Y2 5 lambda capital D by 2D. So therefore, Y bright, this should be equal to and what should be n, from where n I should start? N equals 0 or 1, 2, 3? N equal to 1, 2, 3 like this. What about here? N should be 1, 2, 3, 4. If you write 2n minus 1, if you write 2n, don't write n equal to 0. So if you write 2n minus 1, the n should start with from where n should be equal to 2, 3, 4 like that. I think some books they're given. It's left to you. Again, that will confuse here. Put n equal to 2, first maxima. So therefore, I'm sticking on to this condition. Look at this. There's a condition for what? For minimas, we are getting like this. No, there's a reverse of interference. Are you noticing, all of you? Look at this equation. What the position of maximas, no, in interference. But here, what happened? The position of minimas is given by this equation, and the position of maximas are given by this equation. So the reverse is what is happening. And what is the interference? Diffraction of 2 slits. What is interference? 2 slits, no? With 1 slit we are getting. If 2 slits are there, if you do mathematics, you will end up that one. Actually, what the interference, the way we studied is pure math. We didn't do conceptually. Am I right? Will you agree? I think now you should scold your teacher, physics teacher. Sorry, you did a lot of cheating. Because actually we should proceed like this, no? With the help of diffraction, I should end up there. Then I should prove that the intensity of all the maximas in interference pattern is same. So this should be the proof. So with 1 slit, we'll get it. If 2 slits are there, again, the similar mathematics, we have to bring it, we have to prove it here. Since we didn't have a diffraction idea, so we just manage with mathematics. That's the wrong way. Okay, anyway, we solved it, we understood, we attempted questions, but conceptually wrong way of learning. That's what I feel. First diffraction you should learn, then you should come to interference. There will get exact thing, all that one. Because in interference, why the light will bend first of all. So now I think you should really feel funny. No, there's our circuit, no? the light will come here. First of all, why light will bend? Ray of light, it should go straight, no? Why we are bending it? We are bending it because this wave nature what we are taking. Sir, like, but anyway, like, but we shown like this, no? Why do it will bend? There what happened? We took Huygens wave theory. Every point on a slit will act like a point. So then we show okay, wavefront like this, they'll undergo superposition. The bending is what due to diffraction here. That's the main reason. Here, the diffraction occurs at upper slit and lower slit. The superposition of waves, these two waves will lead to constructive and destructive interference. So what is the interference? It's a special case of diffraction where two slits are there. And at both the slits, the light will undergo diffraction. If you are interested, you can go back and learn interference. Whenever a topic comes for revision, no? You can go back and learn it through diffraction. You'll get same answer. Don't bother. Things will be different. Nothing. You'll get same answer. So this is what we should call this one, position of maxima. Okay, already we have here, no? I written. So this is the position of minimas. The equation, when you take two slits, no? Again, the equation will turn up like this. This will become position of maxima. This will become position of minima. If you want, you try with mathematics. I think it takes some two and a half pages, but you'll reach. If you put two slits, no, or two or three slits, more than one slit you put it, then this will become position of maxima. This will become position of minima. Okay, finally, what happened? Now we are in a better position. Like we are able to predict the position of maxima, minima, and why intensity of central maxima is more compared to other thing, all that one. So let's go for now the intensity of central, select this one, the width of central maxima, angular width. This is something very important. It is that one. This angular width is what I needed. I'll directly take this diagram. We'll do one thing. Oh, it's here only. Better to copy this. Shall I explain here? Later on, I'll adjust things. I'll explain here. Later on, I'll adjust things. Because again, taking to the 10th page, it will take more time. This one. So what is our next part is? No. So we have to define the angular width of central maxima and minima. It is not working. I think I can't. I'm unable to erase it. Okay, I'll leave this. Okay, we'll do one thing. So what is the angular position? Oh, I need this one. Oh. What do you mean by angular position? This is what that angular position means. Okay, let me call this as say beta. No, this is the angular position is called as a beta, that one. So that angular width of central maxima is what I needed. How to bring that one? We know angular width of this one, no? Theta 1. Think, can you remember? So just simple mathematics and nothing to do. Okay, can you remember this theta 1? Here, I'm asking you to look at here, this theta 1. So what is beta? Beta should be 2 theta 1, and we know theta 1 is what? Lambda by d. So what is the angular width of central maxima? We'll take it out. No, not this. Huh? Where it is? We are here. No? Not getting erased. I'll draw another one. Huh? It's troubling me a lot. So, okay, let's come for the fight with technology will be like this only. Huh? Okay, this is a angular width. So time being, I'll show by red color. This is a width of slit. This is what that beta is in, and this is what theta 1, theta 1. This is a D1, this is D2. I'll show on only one side, and this is the capital D. Let's get into the thing, that one. So what is beta? Angular width of central mesh. Shall I write only Cm? This should be equal to 2 theta 1, and we know theta 1 is what? Lambda by D. Already I derived from that. So this will become 2 lambda by D. This is angular width of central magma. What is the angular width of secondary magmas? You can call symbol gamma. Books, they used some other symbols. What is the angular width of secondary magma means B1, B2. That we have to take it. So the suitable diagram will be Yeah. So this is, I'm not interested now, this D1. So now we are interested in distance between B1 and B2. Let me take it out all these things. Yeah, look at carefully. So this is what B1, no? And this is B2. If I do like this, what do I get? I get the angular width of the central maxima. So this distance is how much? Alpha 1. This is alpha 2. So shall we take difference of that alpha 2 minus alpha 1? We'll get the required answer. Uh, alpha 2 minus alpha 1. Alpha 1 is how much? Alpha 2 is 5 lambda by 2d. 3 lambda by 2d. And how much finally? Gamma will end up with lambda by d. Can you say anything about beta and gamma? Beta is 2 times of gamma. So what is the angular width of secondary maxima? Twice of angular width of the angular width of central maxima is twice of angular width of secondary maxima. This is what I'm putting. So angular width of central maxima is 2 times of angular width of secondary maxima. In case of interference, what will happen? All maxima, central maxima or any maxima will have same width, but here it will be different here. So for the width here, it matters here. And what about the minimas? Will be same. Angular width of secondary maxima or minima, both will be same. So I'll write it separately here. Angular width of secondary maxima is in fact equal to angular width of secondary minima. Okay, this is all about how to get the positions. Everything we have brought it here. So I am more interested in this one. Angular width of secondary minima depends on what? Depends on width of the slit. So if I vary the width of slit, what do you say? The angular width will decrease, no? But according to practically, if I vary the width of slit, means as I increase width of slit, so what do you guess? The angular width of secondary maxima will decrease. But practically, if you go on, if you keep on decrease, if you keep on increase at one particular point, the secondary maximas, minimas will disappear. I think the mathematics is not helping us here. I'm putting one very good statement. All of you do listen. As I keep on increase the width of slit, this width will increase. Then what will happen to the angular width of secondary maxima will decrease. At one particular width, the secondary maxima itself will disappear. What is the impact of what is the impact of the slit width on the central maxima? So as you increase the width of slit, what will happen to the central maxima, angular width of central maxima? It will also decrease here. Okay, is it clear? It will also decrease here. So I'm more interested on this than this one. I'm more interested in this one. So as you increase this width, this will also decrease here. I'm more interested on this one. Let's focus on this one. Okay, now let's get into the original concept. Why we are studying this diffraction is what? Let's get in. Before that, what about the intensity variation? Means any equations do we have? Any equation for this? Do we have that one? So if I plot this, okay, I think I can copy this. We'll show all that angular width, that one diagram. I'll make it horizontal. so that we can, like a graph, we can have this one. Huh? Oh. So we will show that angular positions very clearly. You know. What should be this? Lambda by d. Agree this? This should be. What about this one? 3 lambda by 2d. This is central maxima. And this is the expression for intensity. I'm just making a graph. The intensity variation will be of like this. On this side also, lambda by d, 2 lambda by d. I should touch because the intensity should be 0. So some graph will not. See that it should touch. The minimum means it should be 0 intensity. So this is about the the variation. So there's the angular separation. What about this? X-axis, and this graph is very important. They may test you with this graph also. So let me define now the expression for intensity. This proof not there. Just possibility of asking as a formula. Sine O whole square it is, where beta by 2 in fact is equal to pi d sine theta by lambda. What is beta? Beta is the angular width and theta is what? Angular position. So this is what beta I'll call. And theta is what? Angular position. From where I'm going to measure from the slit here. So already I think theta is, and this is not there. I think none of the books derived, but if you look at the CBSE textbooks, no exams, board exam, they have asked this formula. So let's be alert. Huh? So theta is what? This one. All the parameters I'm defining, and this is the wavelength of light. And derivation little bit, we have to take help of more trigonometry. So like this happen, if you use this formula from this, what happen, you can predict the variation of intensity. What is I naught? I naught is the intensity of light at this particular point. And I is the intensity on the screen. So this is what? Intensity of on screen. So whichever you want position. So I want like intensity of this point. Okay, do one thing, substitute the value of theta here. You get the beta by 2. That particular value, I think this beta is for we use for this symbol, no? So this is a phi. So how to calculate that angle phi? So define any position on a screen, find out its angular position, substitute that value here, calculate that phase angle, this one 5 by 2, that substitute here to get the intensity. So when I check it, no, so the intensity of this, what happened, will be maxima here. So, but if you look at this equation, sine square is there, no? So you sine square is there, you expand this, you make it 1 plus cos 2 theta, 1 minus cos 2 theta. So sir, I'll put theta 0. Try to see this theta 0. Sine 0, what you get? Sine 0 will be 0. This will be 0. Intensity will be 0. But here intensity is maximum. No? So this is applicable only to predict the intensity of secondary maxima and minima. This particular formula is what they've designed it. It's not there for syllabus, but they just asked it. So this equation represents the variation of intensity on the screen. So possibility of asking as it is in mains. That's why I just dumped it. Don't bother anything because derivation again, two end of pages there. I tried it, but I think you'll be in a big trouble. Okay, let's come for what about the intensity variation? The intensity of this one more data is there. The intensity of secondary maxima. I'll put statement like this. The intensity of secondary maxima relating to the intensity of central maxima. Are in the ratio one by 16, 1 by 21. This will be like this and so on. So like this will happen if there's an intensity of central maxima, the intensity of next central maxima, the intensity of first maxima will be 1 by 21. Second maxima 1 by 61, 1 by 20. So this will be the ratio is what is split. This is also dumped in CBS, like a CBSE board exam. Just information, do remember. It's not there much a discussion out there in most of the books here. Okay, fine. So this is about the what we have, the basic discussion. So what is use of this? Now you can ask questions. So what is use of this? Okay, now the real drama starts now. All of you be alert. Okay, let's first, I'll vary the intensity of, I'll vary the width of slit. As I already told you, if I keep on increase the width of slit at one particular width, what happens? The secondary maxima and minima will disappear. Okay, sir, disappears. What is the problem? No, you go back to the ray optics. How you studied ray optics? By treating the light as a wave or a ray. Ray means like a particle nature. So I think rather than saying particle, no, because the light is having particle nature or the dual nature where you came across in photoelectric effect. Am I right? So let's not talk about anything particle nature, but the ray optics, how you studied, how you started the ray optics concept, assuming rectilinear propagation of light. Am I right? Rectilinear propagation of light. Are we using that rectilinear propagation of light to explain this? According to rectilinear propagation of light, what should happen? Only I should get maxima, only I should get light here only, no? Only the light is light, the screen should get illuminated only in this particular part. And there should not be anything variation according to rectilinear propagation of light. Then if you look at all our devices, what we have, telescope, microscope, what all optical instruments, are they designed using wave optics or ray optics? Using ray optics. And sir, why do this slit? What is the slit? You look at the microscope, the lens will become like a slit, no? Because the light will pass through the lens. Optical instrument, telescope, the light emitted by star will pass through the lens, no? The lens will behave like a slit. Then if the lens, what happen, if they diffract the ray, then what happen? We'll get a pattern. But how they are designed, how we studied the optical instrument, ray optics or wave optics? You must answer this. Did we apply wave optics or ray optics to get that magnifying power? I think we applied ray optics, no? And so therefore what will happen now? What all I studied itself with a question mark now. What is the question mark like? Why this secondary maxima minima? Ray optics, will it explain? The answer is no. Rectilinear propagation will not explain. And what all till now the optics we have studied is based on what? Ray optics or rectilinear propagation of light. So therefore, practically the diffraction will happen. Now what will happen? I have to put a condition that one. When do the optics, what all ray optics is valid? When the ray optics is not valid is what? I have to give reason. So I'll start with the basic experiment. This will be a very good discussion. It's there in book, but it's not in suitable order where students can just, okay, see and understand. I'll begin the discussion. Our aim is to come here. This discussion is what we have to make it. All of you, all are sleeping please do wake up. Please, my sincere request, please do wake up. So this is our screen. Okay, now the ray of light, I'll show the ray of light here. Width of slit, and this is capital D, distance between the slit and screen. So this is slit and this is screen. So now what will happen? The ray which are coming, what happen? Will spread, no? The rays which are coming will spread. And let this spreading be y. So what is the equation now we can write? Tan theta equal to y by d. And theta is what? We say angular separation lambda by, let me write here. According to diffraction, lambda by small d. So this will become lambda by d. So what is y is equal to? Already we had discussion. This one. Okay, now if the spreading of the beam, what is y? Y is called as here spreading of the beam. Spreading of, don't say light here, beam. There's a beam. The beam is coming. So it gets spread after passing to the slit, it will spread up. Then if the spreading of the beam is equal to the width of slit, and that particular one distance is there, and that distance is called a Fresnel distance. So I'll define now the Fresnel distance. So how to define the Fresnel distance? The symbol Fresnel distance. Okay, this is like the distance between slit and screen where the spreading of width of slit here. So that particular, the distance is called Fresnel distance here. So as we know tan theta, so now what is y? Y should be equal to d, and the distance d is equal to df. So I'll substitute in this formula. This will become d lambda df by d. So what is the Fresnel distance is equal to now? Is equal to d square by lambda. How to calculate the Fresnel distance? Okay, what is the width of slit and what is the wavelength of light you have used? So that will determine the Fresnel distance. So if you keep it there, the spreading of beam will become equal to width of the slit. Okay, next again, this one, I'm going for the width of slit here. Any condition for width of slit. So I'll put it like this. So this is something very important conclusions I make it. If the D is distance between slit and screen, if it is less than if D is less than DF, the broadening of the beam is negligible due to diffraction. The broadening of the beam is negligible due to diffraction, that is, the light The light will put statement like the light will travel along the straight line, and concepts of ray optics will be valid, and concepts of will be valid. So we are bothered more about the ray optics because there is only that will be easier. You can design, you can study the optics using wave optics. I think the mathematics will be so heavy that you'll say goodbye to it. So therefore the ray optics is preferred. Even the designing of telescope is based on ray optics. The cameras, the video camera, the mobile, what all we have, where all the photography is there, all are designed on ray optics. Now the biggest problem is now there'll be spreading will be there. So I'm putting a conditions here. If the distance between the slit and screen, if I make less than fresnel distance, the broadening of the beam will become negligible due to diffraction. That is, the light will travel along straight line. And the concept, I can use ray optics. Ray optics is what? Just triangle, no? We have seen. And we are very good in geometry. We'll end up with the answers very quickly. And the designing will take less time. So therefore, now I'll put it that one. So what is the distance? So the distance is less than df. What is the fresnel distance? Equal to d square by lambda. So therefore, what is d should be equal to now? D will become greater than lambda capital D. So now we'll put it on. So df is equal to, what is this? This is called a fresnel zone. If the size of aperture, so what is df? I'll put this one. If the size of, I'll write the comment here. Aperture or slit, anything. If the size of aperture of, if the size of aperture, not or, it should be of, of slit is greater than the fresnel zone, ray optics will become valid. Valid. So what should be the now? So what is the condition is putting? D should be greater than DF. So if you are designing the telescope, microscope, you have to take care about these things. Okay, this is about these things. So like a still, sir, with I didn't understood anything. What you mean to say? What you mean to say? I'll give suitable diagrams. What is the ray optics? Only central maxima is ray optics. Central maxima and minima there ray optics. So for that purpose, now I'll bring a set of diagrams. These diagrams are conclusion. What all I discuss is theory. Now the diagrams I'm going to put it. So let this be a slit. And this is the most beautiful part of, you can say, the total optics here. Provided if you understand. I need 4 diagrams. No, parallel beam of light is incident. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Shall I continue? I think almost 15 times the power gone, came, internet not there. Today is making cocktail of me. Let's get into this one. So this is the parallel beam of light. width of slit. And the first thing, there's a distance, I'll make it D1. Slit is fixed here. And I'm going to vary the distance between the screen and the slit. So if D1 is less than DF, the first condition. And what you are going to notice here, you are going to see only, because the distance is less than fresnel zone, we are not going to change the slit as it is in this one. So it will be, we'll get only the central maxima. Only, so ray optics is valid. Now the slit is fixed. Where the distance is greater than the fresnel distance, then what I see is that I'm going to encounter so here what is the comment? Ray optics is valid. And there's a distance D2. Ray optics is invalid. Okay, this is about the slit fixed here. This one. So now so what happen? Only if secondary maximas, minimas are there, what will happen? It's not a ray optics here. Then it's the light what happen here, the slit what happen will diffract it, and secondary maxima minimas are there, means what happen? It's a wave optics. Spreading is there. So now I don't have any alternative. What I should do? I should move the screen in such a way that, so don't think that no diffraction will occur. I think there's one more thing. Some are asking, sir, no diffraction. So why no diffraction? Diffraction is a natural phenomena for a light. Whether, so diffraction do occurs here. Can we request light? Okay, don't undergo diffraction. It encounters sharp edges, no? It'll undergo diffraction. But I want ray optics to be valid. What I should do? I should move the screen, and the distance between the slit and screen should be such that should be less than fresnel distance, as finished show. Sir, what is use of this? What is use of this? Suppose say you are looking at moon. How is the moon? We all know moon is something like this only. Provided if the telescope is designed in such a way that, and what is the screen? Screen is what? Your eye. And what is this? This is objective lens. The slit is objective lens. Okay, got this. So if it forms image like this, okay, good, no? Then if it is like this, you adjusted the distance between objective lens and your eye, everything is such that, like this, no? Then along with the central maxima, you are going to get secondary maxima minima. The moon will have a rings. This will be very, so this what happens, this for a moon, or just you are looking at say some person. You take photograph. I think in the mobile, we do have a screen, and what is that? The camera lens is what this slit. If you take photograph, the light entering, the reflected light will enter, it will form image. Then if the distance between slit and screen less than fresnel distance, the image, what you see will be like this. If the distance between the lens and the photograph film in the camera or in the mobile, if it is greater than fresnel distance, the image, what happened? You not see like this one, you are going to see like this, several dotted lines you put it. Just imagine how it will be. You will appear like a ghost, no? Because what are these dotted lines? They are secondary magma minima. Getting the idea? I'm trying to explain some very beautiful concept here. So tell me, like, what type of image you do prefer? You want to see as if, suppose you're taking your selfie, let's take selfie. So you want to see your selfie like this or of this kind. So what is this dotted line? Like this, you can show your image blurred. You'll be seeing this. Along with this open, you can see that blurred. That one, like this, what happen? The 5 maximas are there, 5 minimas are there. So put dotted line like this. So this will be the, so which one you prefer? This or this one? This one, no? So therefore, what I should do in the mobile when I'm designing between the lens and the photographic film, the distance should be less than TF. Agree, no? So it is something very, very important, no? So like if you open mobile company, I think by chance, accidentally, if the design has become like this, no, then go on. Nobody will purchase your mobile. If they go for trial and they see the images like this, no, gone. Nobody will purchase. So this, all photographic things, these are the things they have to need it. They have to plan it. Okay, this is about the distributed slit and screen. Okay, let's come for the slit. So here now what I'm doing is I'm putting condition, let the distributed slit and screen be constant. D1, so this is what I'll call D1. No, this is D2. If D1 is greater than lambda D. What is lambda? The wavelength of incident line. What is capital D? Distributed slit and screen. Then what we get? We get only central maxima. Screen fixed. Slit width is varying, not this. Ray optics is valid, no? No. In any sized lens, can you pick up the lens? No, the capturing lens in the mobile. Can you pick up any lens? Shall I continue? Anybody? Just reply back.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Lambda D. Okay, fine. Okay, that one means here. So what you are doing, what we are doing is like here the width of slit is the lens, the aperture of the lens. Aperture means like you can say diameter. The diameter of the lens is so picked up. The diameter of the lens is so picked up that, so what we get only the secondary maximum minima. Means now if I decrease it, you see that one D2 less than lambda by D. Secondary maximum minima will appear. So here open, so you can say that diffraction occurred, but very less. I should say the less diffraction occurred. So let's write it here. Don't say no diffraction. If the no diffraction what happened, I should get this one. So there's spreading is there. Okay, that is enough, no? I can manage. So therefore no. So what is the things like a when ray optics to be valid, what happened? The width of the slit should be greater than this one. If you just make the width of slit greater than lambda capital by D, okay, then the ray optics will become valid and you'll get only central maxima on the screen. If you make the width less than that, then we get secondary maxima minima. Okay, now look at that. The God has designed our eyes. No? So, sir, what is our eye? Yes, our eye is what? The aperture. We do have our eyes diameter. No? The aperture, what we call technically. If God has designed our eyes such that our aperture of our high lens, if it is less than lambda capital D, what is capital D? This is our lens and this is our retina. Okay, that one. If he has designed in such a way that if D2 less than capital D, then what happen? You are going to see the diffraction effect. And then the world will not be like this. I think in some of the English movies, what happens, some aliens, when they attack the earth, no? So the aliens, what happen, they visualize everything on the earth, the diffraction pattern. Maybe the God has designed in that planet in this way. On earth planet, the God has designed the eye in this way. They very beautifully, they have explored this particular thing. I'm unable to recollect that one. So where what happen, they see only the things like this. So that purpose, what will happen now? So what happen? How to escape from that? Okay, they take help of this one. The human beings, what happen, and they'll not become only this. They're visible. Then they find it difficult to trace out humans if they just see only central maxima. With that, what happen? They'll kill that aliens. Like this, the theory what he has built up in that movie. Okay, this about the validity of ray optics, everything that one. Okay, let's come for before entering the next application resolving. So one more set of diagram I'll give. What is the type of slit we are discussed till now? It was a rectangular slit. This was the rectangular slit, no? And the pattern what it was formed. The light. So and there's a width. That is what? This D that one. And the pattern on the screen. So we do have this I think minima, no? Where the black color? Yeah. So this was the central maxima. This is D1, D2. This is B1, D1, D2, B2. Rectangular slit. And what is it that position? Theta 1, lambda by D like this. So what was the angular position? The angular position what we used to give is? What is theta 1? Lambda by D. Will I agree this? If the slit is, there's a pattern on screen. If the same thing, if the slit is circular, now what changes will come? Aperture, the diameter is called as aperture, and there's an incident beam. The pattern on the screen will not be something like this, so will be alternate bright and dark, central bright disk. So this is the pattern on the screen. This is called like a central bright disk. Okay, there's a pattern. Huh? Like this will come. So what is the use of this? So you can see that one. Now the theta, what is the angular position of that? If you take it that one, that will become 1.22 lambda by d. For circular disk, again, it's not there for syllabus. But we have to remember, because this is what I'm going to use in the resolving power of a telescope. Without this data, I think you're in a big trouble. So this, what is this theta? How to define theta here? So in this case, what is theta 1? Theta 1 will be 1.22 lambda by. In resolving power of telescope, that 1.22 will come. Why that 1.22 is? This one here. So look at the here rectangular slit right here, this one. What is this? The slit is here circular hole. So what is the angular position? What is the angular position of the central minima will be? The central minima should be equal to 1.22 lambda by this one, or angle subtended by the central minima. Oh, so look at the first minima. This particular thing, or nothing but you can look at radius of the central bright disk. We can also take in that particular thing. I think the arrow. Do one thing, halal. I didn't draw properly. It should come for till here. Huh? This is also called as a central bright disk here. So now there's a pattern. Okay, let's assume that the lens of a telescope will be like a circular hole. No? If you see the moon, if it undergoes diffraction, the moon will appear like this. There's a central bright disk is a moon, its image. Then along with that, what happens? You'll get bright and dark rings. Is it moon really like that? You remove the telescope and better to watch by naked eye, no? Then what we see? Only we see this central bright disk. Then if you bring a telescope and watch it, no, if you get like this, then what is the problem? There's a problem with the telescope not designed properly. What is the problem? Maybe the aperture. It should be adjusted properly. Or maybe the distance from the aperture to the screen or objective lens to the eye should be adjusted. So all these particular things will come. So therefore, when I design equipment, I should keep this in mind. Moon, what happened? Moon is only a spherical object, we know. How come it will have bright and dark? It should not be there. So what is the problem? It's a defect of telescope here. And same thing with the cameras, everything, where all photography is there, no? There's a thing. So I have to be very careful. The pattern, what we have studied is only for rectangular slit, but what all our applications will come for? The circular slit. For circular slit, the angular width of the first minima is 1.22 lambda by d. If the slit is rectangular, it will be lambda by d. This derivation is there. Okay, I think it will be very lengthy, so I'm avoiding it. This we are going to keep this in resolving power of a telescope. There when I come now, instead of writing lambda by d, I'll write it this one. So the difference why it is because of the slit. What we discussed is this one. What all applications are based on this. I'm making things clear. The diffraction, what all we discussed, all concepts are related to this. And what all we discussed is this one. So therefore, when I'm designing any instrument, so what I should keep in mind? I should keep the ray optics only. If you design such a way that if the ray undergoes diffraction and if you make central maxima minima visible, then the moon will appear like this. So I think all of you very sure the moon will not have any bright dark rings. The moon will have only central bright disk. The image of moon should be only central bright disk. But the instrument will form this one. So you should design in such a way that the secondary maxima should be eliminated. So what is the basic condition for all instruments? The instruments should not produce the secondary maxima and minima. Finish all that one. Then what will happen? Only central maxima if they produce, then ray optics is valid. If the only ray optics, yes, you have enough formulas, magnifying power, magnification, you know enough of geometry and you can manage. So all the cameras in mobile phone, the cameras in the photography, even in the movies or what all we wear lens, even the human eye, everything should be designed such a way that the diffraction effect should be minimized. Then only central maxima will appear on the screen. Then our problem will be solved. I think it's a really very, very, very big issue. Of all this core idea is central one. So what are they adjusting? So whatever distance you cannot keep screen, whatever distance you cannot keep the screen. So there should be some conditions should be followed here. So that's why if you look at the especially digital cameras, no, there what happen? A lens will be there. The lens will capture the rays. This one, and when the rays pass through the lens is now slit, and screen will be there. Where the rays, when they go and illuminate it, it will capture that one. If that distance between the lens and the screen greater than this, you get secondary maxima minima. Then the image will be very blurred. You can see surrounding this person, so many other layers, and it will be very awkward, that image. Okay, I think I'll update later on. Tomorrow we'll discuss resolving porno. There I'll show that one. This is the background. So this called like a validity of ray optics. What is this topic here? Validity of ray optics here. I'll write topic name. The meaning of the topic is this one. It's just one paragraph is there in most of the books. They just put like this. The width of the slit should be greater than lambda by d. Why it is all? There's a thing. Secondary. Okay, now how to make secondary maxima minima disappear? Either move the screen toward the slit or increase the width of the slit. If you increase the width of the slit, what happens? The secondary maxima will disappear and the diffraction effect will be negligible here. If you decrease the width of slit, it will come that one. So there's a reason why sometimes we are unable to see the diffraction phenomena with human eye. So this is the reason. If the size of the object, if it is greater than this particular thing, if the size of the object is greater than this particular thing, then we don't see the diffraction phenomena. If a light is incident on an object, why we don't see diffraction effect? The size of object is greater than this, we don't see diffraction effect. The size of object is less than this, we see diffraction effect. Got this? Okay, I'll wind up here. Evening, I'll continue. Resolving power will finish off because tomorrow I have to start the modulation. 2 days is there, no? Thursday, Friday. Evening, I'll intimate time. Mostly 7, I think, 7 p.m. 1 hour resolving power will finish off. Please do attend class. I think only the attendance will be very less in the evening. Definitely will miss a lot. Okay, thank you all of you. Okay, thank you all of you. Take care. Bye. See you.
Sir?
Yeah.
Sir, if you coat the slits with some wax or something, is it possible that diffraction won't be observed, sir?
If you coat a wax, then what about the image quality will come down? No? Nobody will do that.
Or any other such thing, sir, which is useful?
Nothing. We don't put wax, anything. If you put a wax, what happens? First of all, the quality of image will come down. No?
Okay, sir.
Any doubts you can clarify? I'll share the screen. Go ahead, I'll share the screen. Any doubt you can clarify because little bit some topic is so many conditions we have assumed it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The image won't be nice, but we can observe many objects which are very far away. No, sir. We can change the values of small d and capital D also.
Now, what is your question?
Sir, we are not able to make small d small because of diffraction, no, sir. When we coat it like that, then why can't we use it?
If you coat a wax, what is the wax? Wax is an opaque object. No, it will block the light. No, finish over.
Any transparent things, sir, like that, which can be used.
Again, that will become polarization. So many things are there. No.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Should I end up the class? Okay, bye. Take care, all of you.